Good evening, you're watching Estuary News. I'm Luke Adams. In the headlines tonight, a royal visit in Hornsey, Yorkshire Day celebrations and launching the Strong Women of Hessle Road in Hull. And later in tonight's programme, I'll be talking to Steve Ryle about this year's Hornsey bike event. Before that, Michael Nilsson tells me about his new book of poetry. But first tonight, Hornsey received a royal visit today. The Princess Royal marked the official opening of the new National Coastwatch Institution, designed to keep people safe off the Hornsey coast. Princess Anne is a patron of the charity. Volunteers will run the station 365 days a year, which will be equipped with automatic ship recognition, VHF radios, weather instruments and charts. The unit will be based at the former Coast Guard watch post on the North Promenade. Today is Yorkshire Day, a day celebrating the historic county. The first Yorkshire Day was held in 1975, led by the Yorkshire Riding Society in Beverley, in protest of the local government reorganisation of 1974. As the region enjoyed the celebrations today, a campaign for a county-wide devolution deal has been increased. The Yorkshire Party took to the streets today with its One Yorkshire pledge. It's to show the government the level of support for a One Yorkshire devolution deal and get them to act on it. The Yorkshire Party says the government is stalling on plans for a devolution model proposed a year ago by 17 Yorkshire Council leaders. Diana Wallace of the Yorkshire Party said such a deal would give real powers to the region when she spoke to Hugh early this year.
An assembly, a parliament would be preferable, yes, with real powers to deal with some of the issues we were talking about earlier, like educational underachievement, which is something that affects us here badly, and we really need to do something. If you look at what they've been able to achieve in London, having a mayor and assembly, and to sort of the London challenge in educational terms, they've done much better. Why can't we have even similar here in Yorkshire?
The Environment Secretary Michael Gove says he will support the farming industry in the future as farmers warn of an unprecedented impact on food production caused by the recent heat wave. The National Farmers Union attended an emergency drought summit in London today with officials to address the severity of the recent hot weather. Many farms across our region haven't seen any significant rain since the end of May. One potato farmer from Lincolnshire says he's used 18 months worth of water in 9 weeks to keep his crops going. Today's summit looked at what can be done to help and support struggling farmers. Police want to trace a man who posed as a post office worker to con a pensioner into handing over money at her home in Beverley. The suspect tricked his way into the woman's home on Lairgate last Wednesday morning, claiming the woman needed to pay a postage fee by debit card. He took her card to withdraw hundreds of pounds from a cash machine on Morton Lane. The man was dressed in a red t-shirt with black shorts and shoes and around 14 years old. A consultation on the future of the Tower Gardens Pavilion in Skegness launched today. The Town Council says they are committed to replacing the pavilion with a community building that would include a tea room, function room and a small office space. Councillors decided to progress with the plans at a meeting last month, but want the building to be designed in a way that is functional and accessible to the community. The project is expected to cost around £1.5 million. The consultation runs until the end of the month. A new networking event for women has launched in Hull. The Strong Women of Hessle Road network aims to celebrate and encourage women to lead rich, fulfilling lives in their community. Fred McNamara brings us more.
Hull isn't short on either historical figures or strong women. The Strong Women of Hessle Road network aims to bolster the latter. The launch of the ongoing event aims to encourage women from all walks of life to come along and share ideas on how to improve the community these women live in.
I just wanted to really follow on with the history of Hessle Road and obviously with the fishing industry and really the 4 women, Chrissy, Lil, Mary and Yvonne, and just to really, build on that. I think it was the 50th anniversary last year that sort of made us think, we could really do something again and sort of, revamp the women into making a change and being interested in your community and, any issues that you've got or any issues that you feel that you could share with if you offer any services, or just really bringing women together, empowering women to, believe that anything is actually possible.
If you look at the heritage of the area and you look at the amazing, like Lil Balocca, and before that, women have been so strong and managed in all sorts of environments in terms of poverty and fighting and going forward and changing history.
I think people like myself that live on their own might not normally come out. So the idea is for the community to be extended. So when you walk down the road, you go, hi, do you want a coffee? It's all about community for me. And this is where I hopefully, as you say, there's going to be many more of them in the winter, Christmas time, Easter. Bring the children, grandchildren, to keep back the community like it used to be.
I feel that I'm a strong woman on Estuary Road. I'm a business owner and I have been for over 35 years on Estuary Road. I've seen Estuary Road change, and for the good in a lot of ways, but I've also seen things go down, and I think it's the women who can try and get Estuary Road back to as it used to be.
It all started on Estuary Road with the strong women, and it should be kept going. And there's a lot of young girls out there what can't be strong and stand up to people.
And it's about celebrating the uniqueness of women of Estuary Road as well, because there is some really unique people of Estuary Road. As we've all noticed with the city and culture stuff, Lily Blocker was very unique to Estuary Road. There's still a lot of women that talk like Lily Blocker, and people will still get offended by that sort of speak, but that's just the way people are from Estuary Road, and especially some of the women. We're just blunt to the point and we don't mess about.
Hopefully we can form maybe, in the long term, some sort of trust to be able to, help women in whatever aspect that is, be it, social problems, environmental problems, employment problems, any sort of issues. And again, anything that people think that they could offer, you don't necessarily have to have an issue. You could just think, maybe I can offer something to someone there that needs my services, and just to bring us all together and to help one another. 2018 is the year of the woman, so, let's do it.
Lincolnshire County Council says work to complete Lincoln's Eastern Bypass won't now be finished until 2020. The project suffered a major setback earlier this year following the collapse of construction firm Carillion. An additional £21 million is needed to complete the scheme because of the cost of archaeological digs, something the local authority says they have additional money for. Hull City Council has launched a new scheme to encourage food outlets to offer healthier choices. The local authority wants takeaways and restaurants to swap high-fat, salt and sugar ingredients for healthier alternatives. So far, more than 100 eateries have met the standards of the council's Healthier Options scheme. Those wanting to join must be able to prove they've made positive changes and created nutritious dishes. East Yorkshire families are being urged to protect themselves against measles after an outbreak in West Yorkshire. Public Health England is advising families to be vaccinated properly before heading off on their holidays. Large numbers of cases have been reported in Italy, France and Greece. 73 measles cases in the Yorkshire and Humber region have been reported since January. A recent outbreak of 70 happened in West Yorkshire. Beyond the Cave is the latest publication by author Michael Nilsson. He joins me now to tell me more. Good evening, Michael. Welcome to the programme. Thank you very much indeed for coming in.
Thank you, Luke.
This book is a collection of short stories and poems.
It is. I've never explored the short story genre before, so I thought I'd give it a go.
A lot of the poems and stories you've written, do they draw on personal experience?
Absolutely. Well, there's a number of influences from various books I read and from past memories.
Okay, would you like to read one of the poems for me?
Yeah, well, this one was inspired by one day. I just got this urge to travel. I got on the train. I didn't know exactly where I was going from here, and I ended up at the Orkneys, and it was an amazing journey, and I travelled all around Scotland. And so this is an idealised train journey called Horizon Train. Waiting at the station with suitcase in hand, I'm leaving city smog behind for the sea and sand. I'm going where the sun shines bright and the stars sparkle every night. Now I see the train is coming, on gleaming tracks it is running. The carriage door opens wide and I, excited, step inside. The whistle screams and off we go to the sea where warm winds blow. Out the window scenes pass by, a pure delight for my eyes. Choo-choo train, chuffing steam, take me to the place of dreams. Clickety-clack, along the gleaming winding track. Down the track many miles, I'm going where people smile.
Lovely. Michael, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Is the book on sale now for people to purchase if they want to read that poem?
Yes, it's released at the end of July on July the 28th, so now it's available from Amazon and Waterstones and other major retailers.
How are sales going so far?
Well, I've only just started promoting it, but I've shifted about 30 already with just promoting it on Facebook. So I'm hopeful that there'll be quite a few sales in the future.
Have you found it quite an organic process putting this book together?
Well, what it is this last couple of years I've been performing my poetry in schools, and kids are honest when it comes to assessing your poetry, and I was getting real positive feedback from them with the delight on the faces, and it gave me confidence that I was going in the right direction in my writing. So yeah, it's given me an incentive to continue.
So what's next in the pipeline?
Well, I'm still writing poetry. I've got an idea about a journeyman boxer who comes good, but trying not to emulate the Rocky franchise.
Okay.
So I've got that idea in the pipeline.
Sounds great. Michael, Beyond the Cave, your latest book, available now. Thank you very much indeed for coming in.
Thank you.
Join me after the break when Rob Dawley brings us all the latest sports news, and I'll be talking to Steve Ryle on the Hornsey bike event. Welcome back, you're watching Estuary News. Still to come tonight, all the latest sports news with Rob Dawley, and Steve Ryle will be telling me about this year's Hornsey bike event. Travellers who've spent 3 weeks on a Hull park have now left the area. The travellers set up camp on Pickering Park last month. Hull City Council took legal action to remove them from the site, but they left last night. More than 100 delegates have attended a major international conference on sustainable energy technologies. Led by the University of Hull, experts from the UK, China and Europe discussed scientific advances in renewable energy, energy efficiency and sustainable refrigeration. There were also examples of real-world developments in sustainable energy technologies. It's hoped the event will help scientific advances in the energy sector and help economic growth in the UK. Health teams in North Lincolnshire are planning to move a number of clinics in Scunthorpe to a central hub. North Lincolnshire Clinical Commissioning Group and Rotherham, Doncaster and South Humber NHS Foundation Trust are moving services from Ashby Road and Great Oaks Mental Health Unit into clinical rooms at the Ironstone Centre on West Street. These include medicine management, occupational therapy and memory assessment. The move comes as the organisations aim to improve the service for patients by reducing waiting times and improved clinic slots. Weekly leisure bike rides started in Grimsby today. Led by Links Inspire, the aim is to grow a community-led ride run by an experienced cyclist. It's hoped that as interest grows, other experienced cyclists will come forward to lead rides that members of the community can enjoy. The rides will enable people to improve their cycling and fitness. The sessions run every Wednesday until the 29th of August, starting at Bradley Football Development Centre on Bradley Road in Grimsby at 6:30 p.m. An open day will be held at Skegness Fire Station tomorrow. There will be a 55-foot inflatable assault course. See the vintage fire appliance will be on display, and there will even be a visit from Fireman Sam. The event raises money for the Firefighters Charity, which provides support for serving and retired firefighters and their families. Around £5,000 was raised last year. The event runs from 10 a.m. until 4 p.m. The spirit of the First World War is being relived with a series of tea parties in Lincoln. Taking place at the Collection Museum, visitors will be able to step back in time to experience what life was like during World War I. There will be a series of activities and a film screening. Two events are taking place, the 10th and 17th of August from 4 p.m. And a rubber duck race took place in Lincoln City Centre today. 3,000 toys were released into the River Witham at Lincoln High Bridge. The event was held to raise money for the Royal Air Forces Association. The Hornsey Bike event takes place later this month. I'm joined now by Steve Ryle to tell me what's in store. Good evening, Steve. Welcome to the programme. Thank you very much indeed for coming in. This event is now in its 4th year.
Yeah.
Does it attract a lot of people?
Yeah, last year there were approximately 2,500 motorbikes attended and about 10,000 people. So it's, yeah, really growing into a big event. Yeah.
A great event for, obviously, Hornsey and the local economy. How does the event help raise the profile of the resort?
Well, it raises money for charity, and we've helped a number of things in Hornsey this year. As you probably know, the Cottage Hospital was closed in Hornsey this year, and the Hornsey Biker event helped to provide a minor injuries unit in a portable accommodation in the local Tesco's car park. So that was part of our charity work and our charity donations to help the local community.
And the charities you're supporting this year, Steve, for the event are the Yorkshire Air Ambulance, Aim Higher, and Bikers Against Bullies. They're last year's event,
that was
sorry.
Last year's,
Who are you supporting this year?
This year we're supporting the Yorkshire Air Ambulance, the Prostate Cancer, and Armed Forces Bikers as the third charity this year.
With this event, how much money do you roughly raise? And
well, for example, last year we donated £2,500 to Yorkshire Air Ambulance, £1,000 to where are we?
Don't worry, Steve, don't worry.
No.
How many people, how would you say that this money will help those charities? How is that money used?
Well, it's up to them how they actually use the money. We just try and kind of donate as much as we can to help them out.
10,000 people came last year.
Yeah.
What can people expect from the event? Because I know there's going to be lots of musicians and live bands.
There are, yeah. We have 3 different stages, a live band stage, a variety stage, and a small stage for smaller acts. On the live band stage, we have, for example, the Lost Campbell Band, who've recently released an album, Green Eyes, which is going very well. So we're very privileged to get them. There are 15 bands playing throughout the day on 3 different stages. On the variety stage, we have the Ruby Reds, the kind of burlesque act that were on Britain's Got Talent, so we're lucky to get them. We have a belly dancer, I believe, and pole dancing, and various other artists on there. So there's kind of something for everybody.
So lots of variety and hopefully something to suit not just the bikers, but people who just want to come and have a day out and see what Hornsey has to offer.
It's like a family day. There are like a small fairground for children. There's loads of stalls. Our main sponsor, Everquip Racing, will have a stand there, and their 2 motorbikes will be on display, and the 2 riders, James Rispoli and Bjorn Esterman, will be there on the day to meet people and so on. So that's a great attraction for bikers.
This is a bikers event, not a cyclist event.
Exactly.
So do you see a lot of bikers coming from across the country?
Yeah, we've had people coming from as far afield as Holland in the past. So they come from all over the place, all sorts of different biker groups. There's Harley Davidsons, sports bikes, every kind of bike. And we also try and attract scooters to come to the event as well. There's also a bike show there, where people bring all sorts of vintage bikes, different types of bikes with prizes given for each category.
So some people can take a prize home with them.
Well, yeah, yeah, that's right, yeah.
We haven't given the dates out, Steve. It's Sunday the 26th of August, 9:30 in the morning, running until 7:30 p.m. at Hallgarth Park.
Yeah, that's right.
So that's the bank holiday weekend?
Yes.
Is it always around about this time of the year?
Always, yeah, yeah. Whichever weekend we try and choose, it always seems to clash with something somewhere, so we try and now stick to that same weekend every year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you find you're competing with a lot of other festivals? What are happening, or do you think this has become a good
yeah,
event?
there's kind of motorbike events like Silverstone and or Cadwell Park and so on that we kind of try and avoid. Our main Spencer Everquip racing will be at Cadwell Park the week before.
It sounds like it'll be a great event, Steve. Thank you very much indeed.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Now here's Rob Dawley with all the sports news.
Hull City has had a bid rejected for Brighton and Hove Albion midfielder Oliver Norwood. The Northern Ireland international won promotion last season on loan at Fulham, scoring 5 goals in 41 games. Scunthorpe United are interested in former Newcastle and QPR defender James Perch. Perch has made over 400 appearances in the top flights of English football. He spent last season at QPR but has been without a club since leaving at the end of last season. On to rugby now, and Hull KR and Hull FC have had their qualifying Super 8 fixtures confirmed. KR will be taking on Salford Red Devils in their first game at home on August 10th. That game will kick off at 8 p.m. They will then face an away trip 7 days later to Toronto Wolfpack. KR finished their run of 7 Super 8 fixtures at the Cacom Craven Park to Widnes Vikings. Whilst FC will take on Wakefield Trinity in their first game on the same night, but their game kicks off at 7:45. FC then face a trip away to Huddersfield Giants a week later and finish their Super 8 fixtures away with Wigan Warriors. Sticking with Hull FC, and prop Josh Bowden has confirmed that he will be returning in the early months of 2019. Bowden has said he's off his crutches and is happy with the recovery plan in place. That's everything from the sport from today. From me, Rob Dawley, back to Luke in the studio.
Thanks very much, Rob. That's it for tonight. My thanks to Steve and Michael for joining me on the sofa. If you have a news story, then please visit our Facebook or Twitter pages. Details on the screen. Email news@estuary.tv or phone our news desk 01472 31553. Write to us at the usual address. We'll see you live at 5:30 tomorrow. Good evening.